Miniature making can be super simple or as elaborate as you want. In this video I want to talk to you about how little it actually takes to start building your own miniatures. You don't need a perfect workspace nor professional tools or materials, but still I will give you a glimpse into the pros and cons of professional tools. Really important is a craft knife with good quality blades. This is mine. I am using Olfa with the original blades and it's really not expensive. I checked for you and found this knife including 25 spare blades for under €10. For me, considering the quality, this is really an amazing value, and I'm not paid for saying this. And yes, I too have bought cheap knives, but sadly they don't work at all. I'm trying to demonstrate the difference to you. You cannot only see but even hear it. And I want to point out that the cheap blade is new while the good quality blade is already quite used. In the close-up you can see I broke off the tip and it has some scratches and dimples. Still, it performs really well. Now I have a pro tip for your cutting blade routine. I often use several blades at the same time, switching from new to old blades depending on what I am cutting. Sometimes I will even cut metal. This of course I will do with an old, already used blade. It's definitely still sharp enough for metal, but that old blade won't make a clean cut on thin paper. So here a new and fresh blade is important. And before I forget it, those things are really sharp. If you're not careful, they will cut your finger, and I know what I'm talking about. So always cut away from your hand and always replace the lid after you're done cutting. When you are using a craft knife, there are two more things that automatically come with it. First, of course, you need a cutting mat. Here I really don't care what you're using. You can use slightly more expensive self-healing cutting mats. Here you can see what self-healing means. It took about 10 minutes for the cut to disappear. They look nice and fresh for a longer time. But a cheap one for only a few euro will do just as fine. Also, they come in all sizes, and as miniature makers, we don't need a lot of space. So you can choose what suits you and your workspace best. Mine is a rather large one, because I like to have my entire table covered, since I don't only cut, but also do my entire work on my cutting mat. The second thing are rulers. Again, they come in all different sizes and shapes. I am using these three. This set square is my favorite one. It's really large and has all the lines that help me work really accurate. Of course, they also come in small. This is also really cheap. I know many people will shame me for cutting directly on my set square, since it's from plastic and sometimes I will cut into it. It makes my ruler less accurate, but it doesn't happen often, and for me it is the most straightforward way of working, so I do it anyway. So if you want to do that, it's your ruler and it's your freedom. Next up on my essentials list is good lighting. I always have two lamps, one from the right and another one from the left. Without good light, I wouldn't see half as good. So make sure you have good lighting. Bad lighting can even harm your eyes. Would you consider glue a tool or a material? I decided to put it right here because it is so important. I use wood glue for everything. Now wood glue is perfectly suitable for paper and wood obviously, but when you watch my videos you will notice that I also use it for glass, for plastic or even metal. I want to point out that wood glue is not the right choice for these materials, but since I am making miniatures as a form of art, I don't care how strong the bond is. These materials glued with wood glue will come apart easily, but it will also last forever if nobody touches it. What I love about wood glue is that it dries off transparent and small pieces will stay in place almost immediately. My pro tip would be to fill your wood glue into a smaller bottle and keep it upside down in a small jar. Mine is a tiny single-use cup, and the cool thing about it is that I can even leave the lid off. When the glue is upside down, the glue won't come out, but as soon as I want to use it, it is ready to go. It just makes a really smooth workflow. When you want to make realistic miniatures, you will often find yourself make things dirty on purpose. So for painting as well as aging, I use acrylic paints. Acrylic paints are water-based and contain an acrylic agent that binds them while the water evaporates, much like the wood glue. So again, here acrylic paints are not the right choice to paint on materials like plastic or glass, but they work perfectly fine for me since my miniatures are just to look at. I would recommend to buy some better quality paints. Here the difference is the pigmentation. In cheap paint you may find much less pigments and of lower quality. That means that you may need many layers of cheap paint, while one layer of good quality paint is sufficient. Cheap paint may even fade after some years. With using paint you obviously need some paint brushes. Cheap ones will make a good start, especially when it's only about applying paint. But when you want to go into detail, better quality paintbrushes will pay off quickly. Again, we are talking about a few euro per paintbrush, so nothing major. But do get the ones with the synthetic hair, not the ones with the bristles. About the size, I would love to give you a recommendation, but I have found that from brand to brand these numbers mean something completely different. So just go look at those paintbrushes and see what size looks best for you. Then, of course, you will need a jar of water, one that cannot be mistaken for your drink, and a cloth or tissue to dry off your paintbrushes. A palette can be made of anything. I would recommend a piece of plastic, since the paints won't soak into it. Lastly, and very simple, I have a tiny trash can. Mine is just an old tin. When making miniatures, you have a lot of tiny trash, and it's really useful to collect it all instead of having it fly around your workspace. These things are already enough to get started. If you want to step up your miniature making a little, I would recommend the following. The smaller you go, the happier you will be for a pair of good quality tweezers. And yes, I'm saying good quality, because low quality can look like that. They will not make you happy. Some wording files make sense when working on tiny wood pieces. But not only that, I have figured that the round file makes a perfect tiny drill. Talking about tiny drills, they can, of course, come in very handy as well when you have a machine to use them with. Sandpaper is a good helper and can even be used to turn clear plastic into frosted glass, just as a little pro tip. Different colored permanent markers can be a game changer because they are much easier to use than acrylic paints. I mostly use black, gold or silver. If you want to take another step further, spray paint can make painting intricate objects really fast and easy, but do it outside since they contain a lot of solvents. Before we move on to the advanced tools, I want to quickly show you a few more things that are always on my table. A drink, a bowl of snacks and some music or an audiobook. Take care of yourself. It's your time and you want to enjoy miniature making. Now let's go big. For me, this extra tool is definitely my laser cutter. It is so much faster than me and works way more accurate than I ever could. But before getting a tool like this, there are many things to consider. Laser cutters cost a lot of money and you need a space for it. The cutting process, essentially burning, releases toxic fumes that have to be taken care of. And a machine like that definitely requires a lot of learning. And I haven't even mentioned, you will need suitable software plus the knowledge how to use it if you want to create your own files. I personally have a graphics background, so I know how to deal with the software. I have owned a cutting machine, one with the little blade, for 5 years and prior of getting the laser cutter. And I think it's actually a good path to go. The cutting machine puts you to similar problems like the laser cutter, but still is so much simpler. When I first got my laser cutter, he came up with a whole new set of problems I didn't even know existed. But enough of that. Let me know if you're interested to go into more detail at any of the topics I have talked about. I hope I have given you a good overview of the tools. Now let's talk about materials. I want you to think outside the box. So many things that we consider trash are actually really cool materials for miniature building. I have a whole collection of trash sorted by material. Here are my plastic materials. These lids make great windows. I built lamps out of these for my artist studio. I also have a whole box of metal materials. Wire or here a thin cable can make all sorts of things. And a thin sheet of aluminium, like from yogurt lid, make perfectly realistic tiny paint tubes. Colored paper and cardstock is really important for me. Again, the cardstock can be from old packaging. I always have these boxes of extra tiny parts here. They are spares from laser cutting. There are also sweets wrappers or color testers from the hardware store. Anything can be reused. I use wood for the walls and construction of my miniatures, but unless you've got a friendly wood workshop around the corner, wood can be rather difficult to handle. Right after I finish this video for you, I will actually start with wood construction again. My next video will be starting a winter and Christmas series. I will be building a candy shop in a cozy old building. I am already really excited for it. I hope you are too. If you don't want to miss that, subscribe and hit the bell. For beginners, I recommend using thin board. Thin board is a great material that's not only strong but also easy to cut. It's mostly used for architectural models, so you are more likely to find it in a professional store than in a craft store. While most things can be made from cardboard or paper, organic stuff with round shapes like fruit or vegetables are better made by hand modeling. For this purpose, I recommend to use air dry clay. It is easy to use and you can paint it with acrylic paints after drying. Okay, now that was really a lot. I hope you are not too overwhelmed. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more of my miniatures, subscribe to my channel. Now, whether you build with just the basics or a full studio of machines, what matters most is the joy of creating something with your own hands. Find the tools that feel right for you and start from there. And maybe one day you will go crazy with a laser cutter like me. I realized that I could go on talking about tools and techniques for hours. Let me know if you would like to see more content like this. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comments. See you in the next video.